And then as we make our way towards our mat, the starting stack, and then for Anne and Catherine and Lori, if you want to, a little cushion underneath your front of your ankles as well. So you might roll up a blanket and put it back there. You're going to take your pillows, they're going to go horizontal. You're going to put your yoga block towards the front, and we're going to go puppy pose, but we're going to find a grip first. So you're going to get your pillow so that they're horizontal because we want it to kind of land underneath our chest a little bit. So it's going to hold a little bit of the support in our center. So you're going to come over your stack. Your hands are going to find the outer edges of your mat, and you're going to put a little bit of a grip in. And then you're going to let your chest soften, and then you'll make a little micro adjust. You want to make sure the pillows land comfortably under the center of your chest. And then once you've figured out where your grip's going to land and where your stack of pillows is going to land, then you're going to take your yoga block and you'll adjust it. So possibly it's medium height, possibly it's tall height, possibly it's low height. It's all going to be depending on what feels good. And you're going to let your forehead rest on the yoga block. So get your grip, adjust, get your pillows where you want them to be, adjust, get your yoga block where you want it to be underneath your forehead. And then the only effort that stays is the grip, and you can push a little bit into your arms so you get a feeling of expansion into your upper back body. And then once you've got your way there, soften the muscles in the back of your neck. Slow your breath down. Check in with your feet, check in with your ankles. If you didn't prop up your feet, maybe take a second to adjust those if they want that little bit of propping up. Now, after a few cycles of breath, I'm going to offer a little bit of rolling of the forehead across the firmness of the yoga block. If you have a tender forehead, for some people, they have that little vein that comes right in that third eye center. If you have a tender spot there, go with a light pressure. If you wear glasses, it might feel a little bit more comfortable, or just you get a little bit more looseness in the way that you can roll your head by taking them off, but make sure you put them somewhere safe. So once you've taken a few slow, intentional breaths, if your forehead feels good resting on the block, you're just going to take little gentle micro head turns. You're going to let your head turn a little to the left, a little to the right. And just the weight of your head rolling across the yoga block will create a little gentle massaging action. You want to just apply a pressure that feels nice, where you can still breathe comfortably. You can still maintain your grip on your yoga mat. You can still maintain that soft heart over the stack of pillows. And then as you go along, if your head roll is feeling good, as you go along, you're going to just tune in and notice if you turn your head to the right, where on the left side of your forehead do you feel a little extra sensation? And can you land on that spot for a moment? Let your head get nice and heavy. Take a nice big breath. All right, and then come back to your soft, gentle head rolls, taking your time. And then we're going to tune in and notice as you turn your head to the left, anything on that right side of your forehead that feels a little nice, good pressure, nice sensation. And then you're going to see if you can land on that spot. Pause for a moment, let your head get nice and heavy. Take a nice big breath. And then come back to the head roll nice and soft. And you're just going to take maybe 3 or 4 more head rolls, just depending on the pace that you're going with. And then let your head come to stillness. Now, if you're still holding that firm grip of the edges of your mat, you're going to see if you can soften your hand grip and soften your elbows down and let your forehead rest for one more moment. I find the grip, I have to walk my elbows in just a little bit to give a little extra support. So adjust so it feels comfortable. Notice your breath. Take one more cycle of breath, and then we're going to slowly walk ourselves up to tabletop position. So take your time, walk your hands up and in. And then once you've got your table position, cat, cow, butts, calves and kittens, nice small range of motion. Inhale, gently drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale, round your back, not looking for full range of motion, looking for sort of a fluid motion in the spine. So inhale, let the belly come down. Exhale, round your back. Go nice and slow. Take your time. Small range of motion. Soft, fluid muscles in your back. Take a few more moments here. Now we're going to go into a little bit of that playful high knee position and attempt for one abdominal vacuum. If the abdominal vacuum doesn't fly off, don't worry about it. Focus on just finding the postural work, and then don't worry about the vacuum because eventually it will come, I promise. All right, so you're going to start by just seeing if you can hop your knees up over your stack of pillows. You're going to have a nice high knee elevated position. You're going to adjust your block so it's low setting, and it's going to turn vertical, so it's long ways. And then you're going to come elbows and forearms down so that they frame your skinny yoga block. And then you're going to push down into your elbows with a little bit of an intention to get a little bit of broadness into your upper back body. Your gaze will be either down at the space between your elbows or slightly between the space of your pillows and your yoga block, but not so much that it's just hanging heavy. You want to just kind of have a gentle held position of your head. Press your elbows, broaden your back body. Now take a nice gentle breath in, and you want to feel like you're trying to fill your rib cage up, a big 360 breath. And you just want to feel a nice big expansion into that whole rib cage, upper back body, low end of the ribs, side of the ribs, front of the ribs. And then as you exhale, just let your breath go. Nice slow exhalation. Inhale, take another big 360 breath, fill your rib cage up. And then this time as you exhale, you're going to think soft belly, let your air go. All right, last cycle of breath. You're going to inhale, big 360 breath, fill your rib cage up. And then you're going to completely exhale, slow, intentional exhalation. And then right at the end of your exhalation, you're going to prepare, swallow, close off your nose, mouth, and throat, or close off your glottis. Don't let any air come in and take a false inhalation. So you're going to take that in-breath maneuver, let the diaphragm suction up underneath the rib cage, and you hold breath for a moment. Nice. And then when you're ready, shoo, slowly release your air. Walk yourself back up to a taller position. Carefully walk your knees off of your stack of pillows. And now we're going to adjust the stack. So your yoga block is going to go off to the right. Your stack of pillows is now going to go vertical. And now we're going to take our torso up and over. We're going to go tree frog pose with the torso supported. And you want just a little bit of space so that maybe your chin can come over the edge of the pillows. So you're going to go belly on. And then you're going to take your right leg and you're hiking it up to tree frog pose position. But now you're going to take your yoga block. I'll say low setting for the yoga block. And you're going to pop it up underneath your right knee. So you're in that little bit of a tree frog position, and you want to just make sure for the firmness of the yoga block, it will sometimes put a little bit of compression on the inside of the knee. Cushion it if it's a very tender spot, but otherwise we're going to get a little hip rotation work here going on. So get your torso figured out. Get your legs arranged in a nice way. Get that block so it lands comfortably underneath your knee. And then once you feel like you've got that block comfortably underneath your knee, neutral head position. So it's lightly lifted, but you're gazing down at that space over the edge of your pillows. And now right leg is going to do a little touch of work. So you're going to go internal rotation. You're going to pick your heel up. Think of it like you're trying to look at the outside edge of your ankle, pick it up and lower it down. And when we do this work here, when we get this internal rotation, you do want to kind of feel like the side of your butt, side of your hip is the guy that's getting the work done. So go slow and steady so you can pay attention and notice where you feel, especially at that high lifted position, where do you feel a little effort going on? arguably this internal rotation work is maybe the hardest, in air quotes, hardest work that we're going to do today. So the most efforted work. So take a few more just as if you can find that good effort going on. And then when we come to resting position, for some of us, block will come out from underneath the knees. For some of us, it'll feel perfectly comfortable to keep it there. So you're going to choose your own adventure. But the next time your foot softens down, you're going to let your butt muscles relax. You're going to let your legs soften. Soften your chin slightly over the curve. You can stack your fists if it gives a good bit of support for your forehead. So get your head so it can land comfortably, get your legs so it can land comfortably. And then we're shooting for reduction of effort in butt muscles. So you're going to say, can I soften my bum? Can I soften my back muscles? Can I soften my belly? Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly lift up just enough so you can grab your yoga block. We're passing it over to the other side, and then we're going to do that little wiggle and rearrange. So you're going to send your right leg long, maybe a little hip slush in the middle, just to make sure everything feels settled and nice. Bring your block over to the left side, and then do that little micro adjust. You want to get that left leg up into that relatively comfortable enough tree frog pose position. Get everything else situated so it feels good. And then once you found a position that feels good, test the water, see if you can get a little bit of internal rotation with that thigh. Lift the heel up, lower it, and then you want to feel like, okay, once I've got a little rotation, where do I feel that top end effort coming from? If I hold the leg in that sort of high position, can I feel some work coming out of the left side, my glute, left side of my butt? And then you're just going to take it for a spin. Go for a couple lifts and lowers, looking to build a little bit of strength, working up towards fatigue. Notice your breath as you go, and everybody's internal rotation will probably look a little bit different. So your leg does not necessarily need to look like my leg is looking. And oftentimes, just in general speaking, I will project my movements. I'll make them a little bit bigger than I would even maybe naturally do, just for the purpose of getting it to show up across the screen. All right, take a few more here. And then when you feel ready for it, you're going to find that resting position. Now, some of us will take the block out from underneath the knees. Some of us will feel perfectly comfortable to leave it there. Soften your head down, stack your fists, let your forehead rest, slow your breath down, relax your butt muscles, relax your back muscles, soften your belly. Take one more breath. All right, and then when you're ready, you're going to just walk that left leg down to meet the right. So you're going to stay with the torso on your stack of pillows, walk your left leg down so both legs are nice and long, give a little hip slush, make sure it all feels good. And then think little baby cobra. So you're going to bring your hands in alongside your shoulders. And as you inhale, you're just going to lift your heart gently, just a little bit. So you feel like you're in a gentle back bend. And then as you exhale, you're just going to float it back down. And then you're just going to take a few lifts and lowers, follow your breath. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you soften down. And then how far up you go is just going to be really what feels comfortable, where you get a little bit of an arch in the back. Sometimes less is more. And then a little softening over your stack. Go for one or two more cobras, just depending on the pace that you're going with. And then when you're ready, we're going to push our way up through tabletop position. So nice, slow, gentle movement back. Spin your legs off to one side. We're going to readjust just a little bit. So our stack of pillows is going to still stay in this vertical position. but we're going to add a little bit of extra height. So you're going to start by taking your yoga block. You're going to pick up the farthest away end of your stack of pillows and you're going to prop your yoga block. Start with medium setting and then you might adjust it to high setting. High setting for me is like chef's kiss. I love it. So start with the medium setting and you'll notice that it puts the pillow stack in that little inclined plane. And then you're going to just get that nice positive stress with your wide leg position. Everybody's wide leg position looks a little different. So you're going to go for a wide leg stretch that feels good. And then you're going to take a test drive and soften over the pillows. And you're going to go, oh, wait, if I pop that block up to tall setting and get it so it's even more inclined, then I can take my hands and I can just rest gently over that stack of pillows. So you're going to get it so you can reduce all the effort that you want into your upper body. Your legs will feel a little bit of a gentle stretch. But how much stretch you feel is really about how you've positioned your legs. And then get everything so that it settles right over that stack of pillows. Soften your head, soften the back of your neck, and soften into your breath. And then if you're like, some of the yoga blocks are not all created equal. So if you have one of those kind of skinnier ones, then you might choose to just kind of hold on under the stack of pillows, do a little head turn. And then I'll tell you about halfway through to turn your head the other way, just so you get a nice neutral, comfortable enough position and feel a little evensies. So if your head is turned, just allow it to be, soften your jaw, soften the back of your neck. And then give just a little bit of time to invite that sense of ease in. So you want to say, can I like soften my inner thighs and the backs of my thighs? Can I soften the insides of my knees and my knee pits? Can I let my heels be heavy into the ground? Can I let the soles of my feet get soft? Can I soften my toes? If your head was turned in one particular direction, take a moment, turn it the other way. Take one more breath. Gently, gently, gently start to lift your body up away from the stack. We're going to shoot to keep our legs in a wide position just for a moment. You're going to walk your hands behind you, and then you're going to push into your arms, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your chest. Think Eastern stretch with a little bit of a wide leg position. And then once you feel that nice openness through your chest, through the collarbones, that little squeeze into the shoulder blades, lift your chin just a little bit more, gaze up towards the sky, take a nice big breath. Lovely. And then softly release. Now we're going to take top stack pillow. You're going to put it underneath the bend of your right knee. You're going to take the next stack pillow and you're going to put it on top of your right thigh and you're going to wedge it up into your hips so that eventually you're going to be able to hug it into the side of your body. Then you're going to take, and I'm going to spin myself sideways now. You stay just where you are. So you've got pillow stacked under the knee, pillow stacked on top of the leg, and then the other leg's going to come into a little half butterfly, and you're going to wedge that block into your half butterfly so it holds it up and supports it. Then we're going into revolved head to knee. So you're going to take your right arm elbow and you're going to wedge up against the pillow so your knee comes a little bit in front of, so your elbow comes a little bit in front of your knee. You want to think leverage against it so that the bottom rib cage pulls forward. And then if it feels comfortable, last bit, your left hand will find your left knee and you'll push into the left knee. You want to think like you're creating a bit of an extra push into your side bend. So once you've got your pillows nicely arranged, and then adjust so it feels good. If you get into any of those positions, like if you're super bendy or if the pillow's too thick, you might choose top pillow out of the way so you can go a little bit further into the position. But we definitely want to think bottom rib cage pulls forward, left hand pushes out so you get a little extra space into the left side body. And then your head lands in a comfortably held position. So we're not letting the head like noodle down. We're going to kind of hold it in a gentle lift. And then you're just going to take a few slow, deep, intentional breaths. And then if you got into any of those positions and any of the props just don't feel good, adjust them so that it feels nice enough. Think mainly that we're shooting for that side bend position. So if you go, well, I will much prefer to just lay on my side over my rib cage side bend, then shoot for that one. We're getting into the QL. We just want to find that side body stretch and then take a few slow, deep, intentional breaths. Take about 3 more breaths. Now, if it feels available, you're going to see if you can free up your left arm and you're just going to reach your left arm up and over. Think a big good morning stretch, get that little bit of a yawn and a reach, and then see if you can take your left hand and tuck it just behind you as if you're just trying to touch the back pocket of your jeans. And then take it up and over again, reaching towards that right leg, getting that nice yawning stretch into left side body, and then lift it up. See if you can tuck that left hand into the back pockets of your jeans. One more just like that. Reach your arm up over towards that right foot. Get that side body stretch. And then soften, float that hand into the back pockets of your jeans. And then release everything slowly and mindfully. Lift yourself up and out. And of course, we're going to take everything over to the other side. So remove your yoga block, slip those pillows around so that they find the other side. So underneath the bend of the left knee, on top of the left thigh, right leg comes into that half butterfly position, and then we wedge the block in so that feels good. And then once you've got all of that figured out, then we stuff that pillow into the side of our waist. We go elbow in front of the knee, and then we gently push. Now, the yoga block, you got to adjust it sometimes so that it doesn't push and dig into the IT band in an uncomfortable way. Sometimes that just creates a little myofascial push point, nice. But if it's like creating a pain point, leave it off. So push if it feels good, get that nice opening into your side body, slow your breath down. All proportions may vary. So you might be on this side and say, well, that pillow on top of my thigh, it's just wedged in, it's not giving me space in the inside of my hip. Little variables might show up and you go, I don't need that prop there, take it off. I offer suggestions. Everything else is what feels good to your body. We'll go for about 3 more cycles of breath. Excellent. And then when you're ready, see if you can free up that right arm and you're just going to reach it up and over, get that little added extra bit of yawning, reaching stretch, and then float it, rotate it, tuck it behind into the back pockets of your jeans. Swing it up, reach up and over, get that yawning side body stretch, and then swing it down, get a little shoulder rotation, tuck it into your back pocket. Beautiful. One more just like that. Reach it up and over. Gently tuck it behind. And then free it up entirely. Use your arms. Come slow. Take a second to release. Swing your legs out in front of you and just free them up just a little bit. Get a little windshield wiper action, especially if it created any pinching in your hips or anything that was like, okay, I can't wait to release this. Take a second, give it all that nice gentle movement. As we come down onto our back, we're going into our wind relieving shape with the hip flexors in a slightly elevated position. So I say one single pillow is probably going to do the trick today. And then if you have your balls, you're going to use those when we come on down. So you're going to take one pillow, put it into the bend of your knees, come down onto your back. And then as you come down onto your back, you're going to push into your feet, lift your butt up and slide that pillow so it's nicely set underneath the broadness of your hips. So you want to feel like you could walk the legs long and they have a little bit of a downward slope. So that's what we're going to shoot for. So we're going to just test the water, make sure that the pillow feels like it's really nicely centered underneath your hips and your butt. And then you're going to take a moment, if you want to play with your massage balls, we're going to put them into place. So you'll take one ball and it's going to wedge into the pit of your knee. And then you're going to take one ball and it's going to wedge into your hip crease. So think about that bony hip bone. You're going to be about an inch in from that bony hip bone. And then as you pull your right knee up, you're going to hold those two balls in place. And then the left leg is going to slide nice and long to the end of your mat. If you get here and it puts too much compression on places that don't feel good, you're going to take those balls and scoop them out and leave them off. It's just a +1. Really what we're shooting for is that we're getting a nice gentle stretch into that left front pocket of the jeans. So right knee pit's getting a little compression if it likes, right front hip flexor is getting a little compression if it likes, left hip flexor is really where the work is at. And then once you've got a shape that feels pretty good, take a few slow, deep, intentional breaths. If you can go single hold with your right hand, right knee, you're going to take your left arm and just let it stretch a little bit long up above your head. And then you're going to let that find a resting position. If you opted to put the balls in, you're going to take your right foot and twirl it in some gentle circles. Hopefully here, as you twirl, if you've got that ball behind your knee pit, you should feel it just gently working across the strings on the back of your knees. So gentle circles. With or without the ball, it's a nice maneuver, but with the balls, you'll just feel a little extra sensation. And then if you were twirling that foot in one particular direction, reverse, go the other way. Nice. And then if you can keep left arm, left leg nice and long, right hand is going to just take right knee and draw it in a couple of gentle circles. Circle in one direction. Circle the other way. All right, then all circling to stillness, draw that knee in just a little bit closer and then add a little pandiculation on the left side. So you're going to point your toes and spread your fingers on your left and take an inhale, get that yawning, reaching stretch. And then exhale, soften this time, flex your foot, flex your left foot, reach through your left arm, get that yawning, reaching stretch. And then choose your favorite, point or flex, doesn't matter, but take one last yawning, reaching stretch on that left. And then as you exhale, soften, and then we're going to switch all of the work to the other side. So if you wedge the balls into place, take a second to release them. We'll replace them on the other side. So one ball into the back of the knee pit on the left, one ball into that psoas hip flexor area. So think, where's that front protruding hip bone? Go in about an inch and then pull that knee up so it wedges the ball into the hip crease. Once you've got your way there, right leg is going to step out nice and long. Make sure that feels good. That's number one, that right hip flexor. Everything else is +1s. Once you got a shape that feels pretty good, take a slow, intentional breath. If you can stick with a single hand hold on the left side, right arm is going to stretch up above your head or as high as feels comfortable going. And then especially if you've got the balls in place, if a little bit of movement feels good on the left side, take your left foot and draw it in some circles. Beautiful. Twirled in circles the other way. Nice. Let the foot come to stillness. Take your knee and draw it in a couple of gentle circles. Draw your knee in circles the other way. Lovely. Let the circling come to stillness. Take a nice intentional breath. And then we add pandiculation on the right side. So you're going to point your toes, spread your fingers. Inhale, get that yawning reach through right side. Exhale invites a little softness in. And now flex your foot. Flex your foot, spread your fingers. Inhale, get that yawning reach on the right side. Exhale takes you into a little softness. And then your favorite, point your toes or flex your foot, whichever one gives you that nicer sensation. Inhale, get that yawning, reaching stretch. Exhale, a little softness. Release balls if you've got them wedged in, and both legs are going to go nice and long. And we'll take one yawning stretch with both legs. So get your balls released, get your legs nice and long, stretch your arms up above your head, point your toes, spread your fingers, take a nice big inhale, get that yawning stretch all the way through the front pockets of your jeans. And then exhale is going to take you into a little softness. Walk your feet in nice and slow. And now we're going to lift the butt up. You're going to slide your pillow over to the right, and you're going to arrange it so that your right leg could come into a supported half butterfly. And then we're going to take the other pillow. It's going to be a pillow, knee, pillow, knee. So you're going to go take your other pillow and stack it on top of your right knee. And then you're going to let your left knee fall over onto it. So you're going to go think belly stretch, but with that little bit of a space saver with that second pillow between the knees. And then once you've got your way there, your massage balls can just kind of go off to the side. Arms are going to come out nice and wide, T position, and you're going to turn your head in the opposite direction of your knees. And then you're going to take 5 slow, deep, intentional breaths here. Oh, I want to say a little add on. If that top leg, if your left leg needs just a little bit of height, you can take your yoga block and slip it underneath that foot so it feels like it's kind of held up in a way that feels good. It's all like the thickness of your pillows and the proportions of your leg depending. So if that little bit of height feels good, put the yoga block underneath left foot. Turn your head to the left, slow your breath down. One more cycle of breath. Now you're going to turn your head just a little bit further to the left. We're looking for a little intentional positive stress. And then once you've got your head in a slightly efforted turn to the left, you're going to look your eyeballs as far to the right. So you want to feel like your eye muscles are doing a little bit of efforted work. Your neck muscles are holding your head in that intentional turn to the left. Heads turn to the left, eyeballs look to the right. Hold your steady gaze. You want to feel some effort coming out of your eye muscles. Hold steady for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Softly bring your eyes back to center. Slowly float your head back to center. And then we're going to take our pillows and take them over to the other side. So take mid pillow, pass it over to the left. Let your knee find that landing point. Take your outer pillow between the knees, and then you come into that variation of belly stretch. And then your yoga block, if it's there, can elevate that foot again. Arms are going to come back out to that wide T position, and then your head's going to turn to the right. And then once you've got your way there, slow your breath down. One more breath with soft head turn, and then you're going to add that just little extra intentional turn of your head. So now there's a touch of effort. Turn your head a little further to the right. And then once you've got your head in that slightly efforted turn, look your eyeballs to the left, and you want some effort coming from the muscles in your eyes. So firm hold with your eyes to the left, hold steady, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let your eyes slow return. Let your head slow come back to center. And then if it feels good, my suggested finish will either be a supported legs up the wall where you put your pillows out in front of you underneath the bend of your knees, or a supported butterfly position. So just choose your own adventure. Easy stack of pillows. You can just put one off to each side, let your legs fall into that butterfly, or possibly feet on your yoga block, legs in butterfly position. Only if that feels good. That's not going to be for everybody's body proportions. So you're going to go feet elevated if that feels nice, legs open in butterfly position. Otherwise, legs nice and long, but put your pillows underneath your legs. Find your shape that feels really comfortable, something there where you can just really get that softness into your body. Arms in a nice open wide position, head in a nice neutral position, eyes can close down, and everything can reduce effort. Think soft belly, soft inner thighs, soft front pockets of your jeans. Let those hip flexors just chill out. You always have the option to stay in your resting position just as long as you like. If you feel ready to do so, invite just a little gentle movement into your fingers. Give them a little twinkle, give them a little wiggle. And then when you feel a nice, slow, deep, intentional breath return to your body, add a little head turn. Twinkle your fingers, turn your head from side to side. And then once you get your head rolling from side to side in a really nice way, you're going to see if you can add a little oppositional eye movement. So as your head turns to the left, eyes to the right. As your head turns to the right, eyes to the left. Take one more head roll from side to side. And then as your head comes to center, give yourself a hug. Right arm on top. You're going to wrap your arms around and you're going to get a good tight, like really walk your fingers in and around your back. Get as tight into that squeeze as your arms and your shoulders can stand. And then once you've got a nice tight squeeze, take a big breath, like you're trying to breathe breath into the tightness of your arms. One more breath, and then we're going to switch. When you're ready, open your arms out nice and wide. Take a second to wriggle and adjust anything that feels good. And then left arm's going to come on top. You're going to give yourself that nice tight squeeze. You're going to walk your fingers in and around. Get as tight into that squeeze of your arms as you can comfortably go. Good tight squeeze. And breathe into the tight squeeze of your arms. Slowly, slowly, slowly let your arms release. Find your sides of your thighs. Help your legs come together if you were in butterfly position. Help your legs come in if they were in that long Shavasana shape. And then just maybe knees to chest, just a little gentle rocking into the low back, just to put a little space into the low end of your spine, a little bit of gentle rocking motion into your butt and your hips. And then once you feel like you've gently rocked just enough, slowly, slowly, and mindfully come up to a comfortable seated position. Use your pillows, use your block, come up in a nice supported way. And then whatever seat feels good, maybe Sukhasana, crisscross applesauce, maybe you come back to a butterfly shape, maybe you sit on your pillow like it's a little perch. Get into a nice comfortable seat. We're going to go one palm facing up, and you're going to take thumb and go right into the center of your palm with a gentle squeeze. So sometimes we put like a firm squeeze just enough, like 2% pressure. So you just want to feel like you're holding a little bit of firmness into the hand, but it's so loose. You could just let it go instantly. You wouldn't even have to try hard to slip your hand out. So find that 2% pressure. Close your eyes down, soften the space between your eyebrows. When you're ready, switch hands. Thumb to the center of your palm, 2% pressure. And then release your little grip. Bring your hands right into prayer hands, heart center. Bow your head to your heart. And then just offer up a whole bunch of love and gratitude towards yourself, for your mind, for your body, for all of your hard work. And then I send my love and gratitude out to you. Thank you so much for joining me in practice. And thanks for always bringing your props to your mat. You guys are amazing. I bow to you. Happy Saturday.